Hi guys, welcome back to the show. This is episode number 302 here on the Sweet Life Entrepreneur and Business Podcast, and I'm super excited to dive into what we're talking about today. Let's give a very brief recap of what we talked about last week. Last week, if you joined us, we broke down the 5 components of actually making an irresistible offer. And we talked about the difference between what is an offer and what is a product. And we separated those two, especially for those of you guys who are in the service-based industry. So you're a subject matter expert, you're a coach, you're a consultant, you help other people get results based on your own genius. And so if you're wondering how to actually craft an irresistible offer, pause, go back to last week's episode, number 301, where we actually broke down those components. So here today on this show, we're talking about how to build a successful program. An offer is not the same thing as a program, although I understand that those two terms are used interchangeably quite often here in our consulting industry. So we are talking about the actual product itself on this show. So let's make sure you are in the right place. First of all, if you are in phases 2, 3, or 4 of my Lifestyle Entrepreneur Roadmap, this show is appropriate for you. That means you're either launching your programs, you are scaling your programs, or you're looking to increase the profitability of your programs. If you aren't sure where you are in our Lifestyle Entrepreneur Roadmap, pause this episode for a second and cruise over to sweetlifeco.com/quiz, and you'll find out in a heartbeat exactly what phase of business growth you're in so that we know that the episode and the content we're talking about is appropriate and you're actually going to be able to apply it. I never want our show to be a shiny object for anybody. I want you to be able to take the trainings that we give here on the show and actually implement them right away. We're actually known for delivering business coaching and trainings that other coaches will charge you thousands for. And so that's what we're doing here on today's show. Now, let's really dig into the nitty-gritty of who this episode is for. If you find yourself providing extra time to clients, what do I mean by that? You are helping them extra over and above what they paid you, over and above maybe the time frame within your coaching or your program, even your course that you said that you would help them. If you are wondering whether or not they're getting results, so you're hanging out with your family and you are worried whether or not your clients are happy, whether or not they're actually achieving measurable results within it's a client of your business, then this episode is for you. So we are going to break down the structure of a highly profitable coaching program that guarantees your clients results. And I'm going to give you my recipe that I've been teaching businesses for well over a decade and how you can actually put this into your business as well. At the end of this episode, this is what you can expect. You can expect to know the recipe, my recipe for 3 parts to a profitable coaching, consulting, or service-based program. You're going to be able to understand immediately, hey, this is what I'm struggling with. This one area, this one of the 3 is where I need to focus first. And I'm giving you a massive tool to actually implement some of what we're talking about here on the show totally free. The tool that we are giving you with this show are the 6 components to a highly profitable, scalable coaching program. And so the notes, in the show notes, we're going to drop the link to that. You can find everything that I told you here in the show notes by visiting sweetlifeco.com. Click on the podcast, and this is episode number 302. So if you feel like you're in the right place, let's go ahead and dive on in. Okay, let's go ahead and dive into the actual meat and potatoes of this podcast, mini masterclass training. So you want to be able to close your eyes and know that, frankly, you're really good at what you do. Everybody, we all just want to feel like we created change in somebody else's business or their life or their profit margin. As an entrepreneur, as a coach, as a consultant, we're teachers, we're trainers, we're leaders, and we're guides. And so, first of all, it's totally normal to think about, hey, are my clients happy? I want you thinking about, hey, are my clients happy? We're thinking all the time, are our clients happy? Are they getting results? Are they getting what they paid for? That's a normal thing. But there's a difference between being worried about that because you're not sure if your programs are engineered correctly and actually just thinking about that from a customer service standpoint. And so To build a profitable, scalable coaching business, you have to have a very good product. And what you do, what you teach, your service you provide, that is your product. We're not selling, bottles, like water bottles here, right? We are selling our knowledge to get other people results, and we're giving them tools and strategies to do that. So there are 3 parts to actually create a profitable coaching program. And I want you to know one thing, and this is not to be like, a total downer. According to actioncoach.com, 80% of coaches fail in the first 2 years. And there's a lot of reasons why that. Action Coach, of course, wants to sell people to hire their coaches because they say that, they perform better than that. Hopefully they do. That's great on them. But the statistics still shows that there are a lot of consulting businesses that do not thrive, that aren't successful. But this episode isn't necessarily for those of you guys that are getting started, because some of the concepts I'm going to talk about here are advanced. I'm going to be honest with you. But if you have been doing what you've been doing for a while and you're still not really sure that you're getting people great results and you're not making as much money as you want to, then it's really important that you tune into what I'm saying here on this episode. So we aren't going to let you be that 80%. That's primarily our whole entire mission here at the Sweet Life Company and on the podcast, all right? But it's normal to struggle in the beginning or as you're learning to scale. So to start out with, there are 3 words I want you to ask yourself about your coaching program, your consulting program. We're going to use the words interchangeably. I don't care if you're a consultant, a strategist, a leader, a trainer, a teacher, a coach, any of those things. I'm talking to all of you guys. And by the way, I don't care if you're a marketing coach, sales coach, sex coach, life coach, parent coach, whatever kind of coach you are, it doesn't matter. What I'm talking to you about applies to every single one of you. So 3 words, and I say these 3 words, I want you to think about your program, your offer. Just pick one in your head right now to workshop with me as we're going through this. So the first word is predictable. Are the results that your program delivers absolutely 100% predictable? So predictable that can you say before anybody works with you that at the end of this is what you're going to know, understand, be able to do? Like, are you able to put a laundry list of what is predictable within your program? What can somebody bank on? Is your program predictable? And even though I get it, every single client's different. Every single one of our clients is different too, right? But we still need to deliver predictable results. It's our job as leaders, consultants, teachers, trainers to do that. That's why people pay us the big bucks, right? So, number 1, how predictable is your current program? Let's just go with your signature offer or core program right now. That's number 1. So just do a check-in with me. Number 2, how transformational is it? Okay, so every single program we deliver, I don't care if it's a 1-hour call or a 1-hour workshop, or it can be a 10-minute workshop. We need to take people from one place and to another place. So from not knowing to knowing, or not understanding to understanding, or not being able to do something to being able to do something, or not having peace to be able to rest assured in something, or, anything. We go from one place to the next place. It doesn't have to be from A to Z. Those are huge programs, guys. And frankly, sometimes that's way too much for people to learn in one program. It can be from A to C or A to M. It doesn't matter. But is your program transformational? Meaning, are you taking somebody from one place to another? Are they different? Is their business different? Is their life different? Is their marriage different? Is their marketing different? Is their communication style different? Is their confidence or their mindset different in your program at the end? And frankly, is it different along the way, which is what I call benchmarks, than they were in the beginning? So the first one is predictable. Can you predict the end results? And can your clients bank on them? Number 2, is it transformational? And then the third one, is it measurable? And by the way, these aren't even the 3 parts of building a program that I'm going to give you here in a minute. So hang in with me. This is just kind of our check-in to have a temperature gauge together here as to how your current programs are doing. And then I'm going to give you the 3 parts to structure out the program. But Is it predictable, transformational, or measurable? Can you actually measure a change in results? And by the way, measurement isn't always ROI. As a matter of fact, I would say probably only 20% of our clients with their programs, we actually measure the change in making more money or ROI. Your program could create more time. It could reduce stress. It could create better systems. But are we measuring the way, save time, right? There's a whole bunch of different measurement metrics. And I should probably do a whole nother podcast for you guys about this. This is what we work on with our clients in our biggest business coaching programs, are all those metrics. But can people measure the results that they are receiving within your working with you? So predictable, transformational, measurable. So let's just take a break here and identify where you may be coming up short. And frankly, I would love to know what you are rocking at. You can send me a message on Instagram, send me a message on LinkedIn. I'm really trying to hang out on LinkedIn more. You guys, here's a sneak peek. Next month, our podcast series is all on LinkedIn growth, and I'm going to be learning right along with you guys. Send me a message on LinkedIn. That will test me to make sure I'm on my LinkedIn game. And let me know what you're doing really, really well. All right, so we've taken that temperature measurement. And if you are good at what you do, you're always going to have business. You could have a profitable business on only 5 clients. You could have a profitable business on 5,000 clients. I'm not talking the volume. I'm talking the quality of your programs. And quality equals the volume in profit. All right. So now let's dive into how do we actually structure the program itself. So there are 3 parts to a profitable, scalable consulting or coaching program. Part number 1, and these are important. I'll share with you why these are important. Let me share that first. They're important because we don't want your program like everybody else. You can be here, you can listen. I love that you're here, but if you are a coach and you are just trying to duplicate the way other coaches are doing things, I can't help you. I believe that profitable businesses are built on your intellectual property, your unique process. And yes, do you take frameworks and services? Shoot, you're taking my framework here. I'm giving it to you. But we want to make it uniquely yours. When we make programs uniquely yours that are predictable, transformational, measurable, that's when we make you profitable. And guess what? Nobody can compete with you. You are like in your own blue ocean, because they are built the way I'm going to share with you. So number 1, your program should be built on your unique method, process, roadmap, framework, or system. You need to have a system that gets people results. Have you guys ever read The E-Myth or The E-Myth Revisited? So they're Michael Gerber's books. It was one of the first business books I've ever read. It's a really short read. And these are great books, okay? I'll put it in the show notes for you. In the E-Myth, Michael Gerber unpacks profitable business systems, that they do the same thing every way. They go through, there's a predictable process of doing the same thing again, like Subway sandwiches. And he also unpacks like the back end customer service of the Ritz-Carlton. It's fascinating. The point I'm making here is that I'm just not pulling this out of anywhere. Like, how we build incredible business programs and incredible programs, whatever you're doing, is you need to have your own unique method, process, system, or framework to get your clients results. And you should be able to take different clients with different stories and different situations through the same process every time. So step number 1 is building your unique method or framework. I have a ton of episodes on this. We work with our clients to build their unique method and framework. Cruise over to episode number 295, where I broke down the steps to build a method and framework. That's a great place for you to start, and I'll put those on the show notes for you as well. But is your program built upon your unique proprietary process of getting people results? It doesn't even have to be complex. It can be totally simple. But is your program built on that? It needs to be built on that because that's how we grow it. That's how we scale it. That's how we license your program to other companies and bring in millions and millions of dollars. It needs to be yours. It needs to be uniquely yours. So number 1 is it needs to be built upon a method or a process, framework, system, even key principles, could be topics that are unique to you. And when you do this, you are going to be able to track your clients' progress through your programs because you're going to know exactly where they are in your process. And that is really helpful to know if a client or a customer is falling behind or if they're struggling in a certain area. It's not only good for your clients, and they have so much more trust in you because they're like, wow, you have a process to get me results. Like, go figure. But it helps you as a leader to not lose track of people that might be struggling. So even if you have a huge course and there's hundreds of people in your course, if you have a proven process, you can see where people are struggling. You can either edit or modify your course or program. You can add more help. You can add more office hours. You can call people up on the phone and say, hey, April, I really see that you're stuck on, module number 3. What's the deal? So it's really, really, really important that you have a method, framework, or process. Okay, talked about that enough. Number 2, the content and the curriculum within your program. You might feel the pressure to be a curriculum engineer. And that is really important. There are incredible curriculum engineers that can actually pull your expertise out of your brain and put them into programs. By the way, that is part of what we do with our clients. We pull their expertise out of their brain, build them into transformational programs. The thing is that your curriculum itself needs to be your unique content. The curriculum doesn't have to be long. Like I said, we can build transformational programs that are only 1-hour coaching sessions, but it should be yours. It should be unique to you. And as you're curating your curriculum, don't throw everything in there. If you've been listening to this podcast for 5 years, you know that I talk about the history of the online courses industry and how we used to build courses back in 2011 that were huge and they would last like 6 months to a year. Our attention span is not the way it was. Like the old gray mare, she ain't what she used to be. I mean, at least me. I'm 47. I can't remember anything, you guys. And what happens is it's too much information for people to implement. So your content should be highly valuable, but delivered in the shortest amount of time possible. And it's really important that you curate your curriculum. Curriculum pertains to even like 1-hour consulting sessions. They pertain to the format of your luxury retreat. Your curriculum is the format even within masterminds. Your curriculum is a format within your training or your certification program. What your webinar, whatever it is, your curriculum needs to be curated correctly without becoming overwhelming. So that's part number 2. And then part number 3 is the actual model of your program. This is how we actually scale, you guys. So there are a bunch of different models. A model is how you deliver your program to your clients that you can choose from. And I'm a big advocate that the first step in choosing your model has to do with the alignment of your life. Most of you guys know I travel 6 months a year. I just returned from 8 weeks of travel and a big event off grid. And I do that. I can do that. I've been able to do this for over 10 years because of the way that I model and I package how I work with our clients, when I work with them, how I work with them. So I can still guarantee they're getting results through my method and my curriculum, but it doesn't mean that I always have to be there doing it. So your model is really important, and your model should be 2 things. Number 1, it needs to work with you and the life you're building, the life you're creating, or your current life that you have. For sure. That's the first thing. There are a lot of business models out there that are really good. We can make you a ton of money with them. But if they don't align with your time and the life that you want to have, why are you an entrepreneur? That makes no sense to me at all. I'm going to go on like a little sidebar here. So many consulting businesses copy somebody else's business model. They're like, oh, she did this, so that sounds good. I guess that's the way to do it. I don't want you to do that. As a matter of fact, in the tools here, I'm also going to give you the ultimate guide to download so that you can see all of the different online business models that you can choose from. And I'm going to break down each business model and let you know how that business model is going to affect your life. You know why? Because I've done all these business models and I can personally tell you what my life looked like when I did it. So I'll give you the resource to download our ultimate guide to business models and offers. But I want you to think about the model. Now, when we're thinking about the model, number 2, in addition to your life, is how do your clients need to receive the information you are giving in order to actually achieve these world-class results that you promise? How often do they need to see you or your team? How frequently do they need to receive the information? In what format does the information come? Is it an on-demand video? Are some office hours? Do we deliver some quizzes or some downloads and worksheets? What is the curation of the curriculum look like for you, for your particular people. How do they need to receive the content and receive the information to actually get those predictable, transformational, measurable results that we need them to have in order to build your business profitably? And so to recap, there are 3 parts to a profitable, scalable coaching program. Number 1 is it's built upon, like think of bricks, it's built upon your method or your framework. If you do not have that, and it's your method and your framework, by the way, isn't necessarily like the outline and the modules of your course, okay? There's more to it than that. But number 1 is it needs to be built on your method or framework that's unique to you. Number 2, then the content that's layered on top of it is curriculum that's engineered. It's the right amount. It's how people need to hear the information in order to learn and implement it. And it doesn't have to be overwhelming. We have resources for you to teach you how to engineer your curriculum. As a matter of fact, our Offer Engineer Masterclass is where we work with clients and we give you a framework to engineer your curriculum like in one day. And then number 3 is how is the model delivered? Is this model in a way that you can serve more clients than one at a time? Is it in a way that you're going to be able to travel all summer long like I do in the whole month of December? Is it in the way that your clients also need to receive it? So we have model, we have content or curriculum within your program, and then, scratch that. We have method, content, and curriculum in your program, and then model. Don't pick the model first. That is a huge mistake that everybody makes. Don't do that. Okay, I'm going to put on my mom hat here. Don't say, I'm going to launch a course or I'm going to launch a mastermind. You can start with that thinking because it's normal to do that, but then take a look at your method and the content and ask yourself, what is the best way that my clients need to receive this to actually get the results that I've guaranteed them that they're going to get from working with me? And then go back and say, is it really a mastermind? Is it really a course? Is it really, a weekend retreat? And challenge yourself, question yourself to make sure that the model aligns with the actual content that you are delivering in your program. And when you do this, I guarantee you that no other competitors will be able to compete with your program, that you will stand in an ocean all by yourself, that your process will be unique to you. Nobody else will be able to compete with the way you do things because they're actually truly pulled out of your incredible, beautiful, most likely ADHD mind. If you're like me, I have crazy ADHD. By the way, so many entrepreneurs have ADHD because we're always creating things at once. And they're delivered in a way that people love you for it. And if they love you in one program, they're going to come back and they're going to love you in 2, and they're going to love you in 3, and they're going to travel along the ecosystem of offers that you have perfectly curated for them to receive. So let's recap. We talked about how to build a transformational program, and I have a couple of resources here. Go to sweetlifeco.com, click on the podcast button. This is episode number 302. I'm going to give you the 6 components of a scalable coaching program, and I'm also going to give you a link to download that entire ultimate guide to online offers where you can see which ones might work with you, which ones you love, which ones, don't really fit. Because I would love to save you up to 10 years' time building the wrong kind of business model. All right, you guys. Okay, if you need help with your offers, you know where to find us, sweetlifeco.com. We will be hosting our leading class on how to curate profitable, scalable programs and offers called Offer Engineer. That's coming up this fall, and you can always send us a message if you have any questions about our programs or services. We would love to hear from you, meet with you, give you some feedback on where you are. That's what my team and I do, and we love connecting with you guys. Thank you so much for listening to this show. If I can ask if you would just share this episode, it would be really helpful to us. Share it on LinkedIn. Those of you guys that are on LinkedIn, tag me on LinkedIn. Help a girl out on LinkedIn. Man, I have to get on like my LinkedIn routine and tag me. We would really, really appreciate it. And I can't wait to talk to you guys next week. We have some special episodes coming up. And again, that entire LinkedIn business growth and lead gen series is going to be coming for you as well. All right. See you guys soon. Bye for now.